Hello, Kent Jennings. I haven't seen you since that TV quiz show.
Hello, Watson. You can see now?
I can recognize people, analyze images, and watch movies.
Well, I wrote a few books. I did a speaking tour.
I've been helping people plan for retirement, and I help doctors identify cancer treatments.
Is that all?
I've recently learned Japanese.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic.
I haven't learned sarcasm yet.
I can help with that.
Sarcasm is a pretty interesting thing. A popular theory says that we developed it as an emotional tool that helps poke around a conversation and see what the polite boundaries are. Since the words are the same but the intention is different, it's a safe way to show dissent without having to get in trouble for it. Yeah, the new boss is super rad, and then maybe everyone laughs, and then maybe you just don't make fun of the new boss again. You'd think picking up on sarcasm would happen entirely in the left side of the brain, where most of our language processing takes place. And part of it does, but most of the heavy lifting is actually done over in the right parahippocampal gyrus, a bit in the right hemisphere that's known mostly for figuring out visual context. Turns out it helps figure out social context as well. If an adult has an inability to pick up sarcasm, especially if they lose that ability all of a sudden, that can be taken by doctors as an early sign of frontotemporal dementia. In 2002...
Nice day we're having.
Oh, yes!
What?
He said nice day, but he covered with rain.
So?
So he said this when your brain know it's not really nice day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, he said the opposite. It's funny.
Yeah, I get it.
Work using Python, so let's talk a little bit about it. But first, let's start with the quiz. So I'm going to play you two different WAV files, and I want you to tell me, is it sarcastic or is it sincere? So, here it is. Let's start.
Thanks for respecting my confidence.
Does anyone need to hear it again? What do you think? Sarcastic or sincere? That's, well, that was like 95% sarcastic and one person who really thinks that's sincere. Here's the other one.
So I am a little very nervous.
Sincere, but it seems less certain. Okay, so general consensus may be sincere. My next question is, how do you know? This is a real question. I'm asking you, how do you know? Cadence, inflection, tone of voice. Prior experience, yeah, it probably helps. Watching too much Daria. So that's basically our goal here. So our goal that I'm going to be talking about today is automatic sarcasm detection. So we want to build a computational model that can perform the task that you just did, being able to distinguish between sarcasm and sincerity in speech. So why? Why is this something that we want to do? What's the point in recognizing sarcasm? Well, to begin with, very little work has actually been done regarding modeling sarcastic speech for automatic recognition, which surprises me because I think it's a cool and interesting challenge, but it's also kind of great for me because I want to do this and there's still a lot of open-ended questions here for me to work on. Also, spoken dialogue systems are starting to crop up with increasing frequency. You see them in products more and more. And it would be helpful if spoken dialogue systems can recognize colloquial speech in the way that people actually talk. I think this is especially useful as sarcasm is frequently used to express negative or critical attitudes. So if you're talking to, I don't know, Siri or Cortana or your fancy new Apple Watch, and it doesn't do something that you want it to do, and you're like, thanks, Siri, I appreciate it. Wouldn't it be nice for Siri to say, I'm sorry? Sarcasm is really commonly used to express different negative attitudes. It would be nice if we could talk to our products the same way that you talk to another person. A couple of basic intuitions about sarcasm, just so we can kind of go from here. We're all on the same page. Conventional wisdom suggests that there is a sarcastic tone of voice. For example, I played you some things and you heard them as being sarcastic. Conventional wisdom also suggests that humans are able to distinguish between sarcasm and sincerity, even in out-of-context examples. And again, you were all just able to do this. I played you two instances of speech. You were able to tell me what was sarcastic. You didn't know who said it. You didn't know the context in which they said it, but you still had an idea. And the way that you said you had an idea was because of tone of voice. There's some sort of sarcastic tone that you're perceiving. One of the terms I'm going to be using a lot in this talk is prosody, so I wanted to introduce you all to this particular term. Prosody is what we're interested in this particular work, and prosody is not what you say, but rather the way in which you say it. So this is a term that encompasses intonation, stress, rhythm, duration, and intensity of your speech. This is the area that I work in the most. So how do you build a sarcasm recognition system? You can do so in as many steps as I put on this slide. The first thing that you want to do is acquire a database consisting of sarcastic speech. Second thing that you want to do is to look at human sarcasm perception as a baseline, so you have some idea of how good humans are at this particular task. Next, build a model. We did basic feature extraction and representation of these features, which I'll talk about in more detail. And then classification. See if the features that we have of sarcastic and sincere speech are in fact predictive. Overview of our results. We achieved 81.57% accuracy on the test set, which is a 46.14 relative reduction in error over our baseline. The predictive features that we found of sarcastic speech include reduced pitch range, fewer instances of falling pitch and shallow pitch rise, more instances of shallowly rising intensity. There are a number of ways in which we could extend this system in the future.
Then everybody's happy.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's real happy then.
Do I detect a note of sarcasm?
Are you kidding me? This baby is off the charts. Why?
Oh, a sarcasm detector. Oh, that's a really useful invention.